Today's lesson is called In the Mood for Seafood. Hello, everyone. My name is Jeff.
And my name is Helen.
Welcome to this month's Dialogue Focus lesson. Today, we have a dialogue for you guys. Big surprise, right? No, of course, this is the Dialogue Focus. So yes, we will be covering a conversation, but it's going to be a good conversation. David and Helen, the two characters in our dialogue, they are in the mood for seafood. And yes, I think this is great because I am a big seafood fan. I am often in the mood for seafood. I love shrimp and lobster and crab and fish and oysters, all manner of shellfish. I'm a big fan of seafood.
And so am I. I love seafood. And when I want to buy seafood, I usually go to a fish market instead of a supermarket because the seafood at fish markets are usually fresher and they're of better quality. So there's no better place to buy seafood than at a fish market, which is where Helen and David find themselves.
There you go. Now let's go ahead and take a short break. But when we come back, we're going to join Helen and David. And yes, they are going to be shopping at the fish market. So stay tuned. We'll be right back after this.
In the mood for seafood. Shopping at the fish market. Helen and David meet up at the fish market to shop for some fresh seafood.
I'm excited to cook up some freshly caught fish tonight.
Me too. How are you going to prepare yours?
It depends on what I pick up, but I could go for some mackerel. It's delicious, especially when it's baked or grilled. Let me know if you see any.
Will do. Oh, look, they have milkfish. It's quite popular here. Have you tried it?
I've heard it's good, but no, I haven't.
You definitely should. It has a really pleasant, mild flavor. Just watch out for the bones. It might be the boniest fish I've ever eaten.
Good to know. Thanks.
"大家好，标题中我们看到片语 in the mood for something， 表示有心情做……想要……例如 Sam was in the mood for pizza, but his brother wanted to get Mexican food. Sam 想吃披萨，但他弟弟想吃墨西哥料理。另外，补充这个片语的反义 in no mood for something， 我们可以说 I'm in no mood for an argument, so I'll let you decide what color to paint the apartment. 我现在不想吵架，公寓要漆什么颜色，现在让你决定就好了。再来，我们看到一个动词 grill， 有烧烤、炙烤的意思，像是 Justin grilled the shrimp on the barbecue. Justin 在烤架上烤虾子。另外，这个字除了上面的意思，还可以指盘问、审问。可以说 The detective grilled the suspect in an attempt to get a confession. 警探拷问嫌犯，企图获得招供。
Okay, it's time for us now to discuss the contents of today's conversation. The first part of our lesson for today is entitled Shopping at the Fish Market. Here it says, Helen and David meet up at the fish market to shop for some fresh seafood. So the two of them are looking for seafood, looking for fresh fish to buy, and they meet up at the fish market. And Helen says, I'm excited to cook up some freshly caught fish tonight. And David says, me too. How are you going to prepare yours?
Good question. How are you going to prepare your seafood, the fresh seafood that you have just purchased? Anyways, yes, it seems as though Helen and David are most definitely in the mood for seafood. By the way, this phrase, in the mood for, what does it mean? If you are in the mood for something, you feel like doing that thing. You want something, let's say. For example, you could say, I'm in the mood for Indian food right now. I could go for some tandoori chicken right now. That sounds delicious to me. Now, you could also use this phrase in slightly different ways. You don't always have to talk about food. You could say, it's Valentine's Day, so everybody is in the mood for love, i.e., it's Valentine's Day, so everyone is feeling romantic. Everyone feels like they want to fall in love. Anyways, let's talk about cooking some seafood. Remember, David just asked, how are you going to prepare yours, Helen? How are you going to prepare your seafood? And Helen answers him by saying, it depends on what I pick up, but I could go for some mackerel. So it sounds like she is in the mood for mackerel. By the way, mackerel is a type of fish. It's got a dark, oily type of texture to it, and it tastes quite good. I like mackerel. It's got a strong flavor to it. Anyways, yes, if you could go for something, you are in the mood for that thing. So here, when Helen says, hey, I could go for some mackerel, what she's saying is that, hey, I could do that. I could do some mackerel. I could buy some mackerel and cook it up and eat it. She could be easily persuaded to get some mackerel right now.
Right. Helen is in the mood for mackerel. She would like to buy some mackerel, but it depends on whether the fish market has it or not. If she is able to find the mackerel, then she thinks the best way to cook it is to bake it or grill it. In fact, she says it's delicious, especially when it's baked or grilled. And grilling something, of course, is to cook that thing over a fire on a flat frame of metal bars, like a barbecue. So Helen says to David, let me know if you see any.
So yes, she says, I'm in the mood for some mackerel, so keep those eyes open. Let me know if you see any. And if you do see some, I might just pick some up. By the way, here, Helen is not being literal. Yes, she will probably pick up the mackerel when she's buying it. She'll pick it up off the ice there, let's say, and have it wrapped up for her or something like that before she buys it. But that's not the case here. Here, when you pick something up, you kind of go get that thing informally, okay? If you say, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do tonight, I might just pick up some takeout. What you're saying is that you might just show up at a restaurant, order some takeout, and then take it home, okay? You're not planning things, okay? That's the idea here. If you pick something up, you're getting that thing, but yes, you're doing so informally. Anyways, let me know if you see any mackerel, says Helen. And David says, will do. Yes, I will let you know. Then he says, oh, look, they have milkfish. It's quite popular here. Have you tried it? By the way, Helen, the real Helen here in the studio, have you ever had milkfish before?
Nope, I've never had milkfish, and I wouldn't even know what it looks like if I saw it. So it seems that David and Helen are both very knowledgeable about fish because David knows what a mackerel looks like because he will tell Helen when he sees one, and Helen has also heard of milkfish, though she has never tried it.
There you go. So let's move on here. David starts describing milkfish, the meat. He says you definitely should try it. It has a really pleasant, mild flavor. Just watch out for the bones. It might be the boniest fish I've ever eaten. So there you go. It's very delicious, okay? It's got a pleasant, mild flavor, i.e., the flavor is nice and not all that strong, but there is a catch here, okay? And again, I'm not making a joke. You can't say, fresh catch, i.e., fresh fish has just arrived at the market, but I'm saying here there is a catch when it comes to eating milkfish. Sure, it's delicious, but it's also quite bony, okay? There are a lot of bones in the flesh, so when you're eating it, you'll enjoy the flavor, but you might have to pull bones out of your mouth time after time after time, bite after bite after bite.
Right. I think if I had to choose between mackerel and milkfish, I would go for the mackerel because it just sounds really annoying to have to pick out the bones from the fish when you're eating, even though the fish might be very tender and juicy and tasty, but I don't think I would have the patience to do that.
Me neither. Anyways, Helen considers what David has just said, and she says, hey, good to know, thanks. So I might get milkfish at some point in the future, but thank you for letting me know that it is bony. All right, folks, with that, it's time for us to take a short break, but don't go away. We'll be right back after this.
Discussing concerns about seafood. Maybe I should pick up this codfish. It's a favorite of mine.
I doubt it's cod. It's more likely to be Greenland halibut. Apparently, it's often mistaken for codfish in Taiwan.
I didn't realize that. Thanks for letting me know. By the way, what type of fish are you looking for besides mackerel?
I'm mostly browsing to see what they have. Without question, my favorite fish is tuna. Unfortunately, I shouldn't buy any even if they have it here.
Why not? What's wrong with tuna?
A lot of people don't realize how overfished it is. Some species are endangered. I don't want to add to the problem, so I never buy it anymore.
Wow, I had no idea. It's so common on restaurant menus.
If you're concerned about which fish you should avoid, I recommend looking at the International Union for Conservation of Nature's Red List.
I definitely will.
As for tuna, it might be for the best. It has high concentrations of heavy metals like mercury compared to a lot of other seafood.
Really?
Yeah, some types have a higher amount in a single serving than you should eat in a whole week.
It looks like I have some research to do.
第二部分，我们看到单字 browse 这个字是动词，指浏览、随意看。举例来说 Ted usually spent an hour browsing the web before he went to sleep every night. Ted 每天晚上睡前通常会花1个小时浏览网路。另外，补充一个相关片语，可以用 browse on 来代表动物吃草或叶。我们可以说 Deer regularly browse on the bushes in my parents' backyard. 鹿偶尔会到我父母家院子里的树丛吃草。接着我们看到一个副词 unfortunately 指可惜、遗憾的、不幸的。例如 I wanted to bring you a present that I'd bought for you, but unfortunately, I forgot it at home. 我本来要带一份为你买的礼物给你，但很遗憾的，我把它忘在家里了。另外，补充这个字的反义词 fortunately 指幸运的、幸好。所以可以说Fortunately, the bus arrived right before it started to rain, so we stayed dry. 幸好公车正要在开始下雨前抵达，所以我们没有淋湿。接下来我们看到一个单字 overfish 这个字是动词，指过度捕捞。举例来说 The fisher was fined for overfishing in the area. 渔民因为在区域内过度捕捞而被处以罚金。再来我们看到名词 conservation 用来指对自然资源的保护或保育，像是 In the 1970s, large numbers of people first became concerned about conservation of the natural environment. 在1970年代，许多人开始关心自然环境的保护。另外，补充这个字的动词 conserve, C-O-N-S-E-R-V-E, conserve 有节省、保存的意思。我们可以说 The campers conserved their supply of firewood by keeping their fire very small. 登山者们借由保持小炉火来节省木材。最后我们看到一个单字 concentration 这个字是名词，课文中为可数用法，指浓度。例如 This type of food has a high concentration of vitamin C. 这种水果含有高浓度的维他命 C。另外，这个字还可以做不可数名词，指专注。可以说 Lack of sleep can affect one's level of concentration. 睡眠不足会影响一个人的专注程度。
And welcome back, everyone. So we're here today with David and Helen, who are at the fish market shopping for seafood. And Helen and David have been looking for specific types of fish. Helen was in the mood for some mackerel, and she's looking for that. And David mentions milkfish, which he recommends to Helen because it's very tasty. And so continuing on at the fish market, the two of them, David and Helen, begin to discuss concerns about seafood. And this is the title of the second part, which is discussing concerns about seafood. Now, concerns here is basically feelings of worry about something. If you have any concerns about something, then you might want to express them to somebody so that these concerns may be resolved.
There you go. Here, the word concern is being used as a noun, but you can also use this word as a verb. If you are concerned about something, you're worried about that thing. Anyways, here we've got some issues about seafood. Let's go ahead and talk about them. David says, maybe I should pick up this codfish. It's a favorite of mine. And Helen says, I doubt it's cod. It's more likely to be Greenland halibut. Apparently, it's often mistaken for codfish in Taiwan. Now, before we move on, let's talk about this word apparently. Okay, when you use the word apparently, what you're saying is, well, based on what I see, based on what I know, it seems to be this way. Something seems to be this way. Yeah, from what I know, this seems to be the case. Or from what I know, the facts, okay, kind of make this clear to me. So Helen here says, apparently, it's often mistaken for codfish in Taiwan. This happens often, and Helen knows this.
Right. For instance, I could say, apparently, Linda and Joe are getting married, but they haven't made a formal announcement yet. So in this case, all of the facts lead to Linda and Joe getting married as an event, maybe because she has an engagement ring on her finger. So these facts point to the possibility that they are getting married. So apparently, they are getting married.
Yeah, she's got a ring on her finger, and apparently he's making phone calls around town, trying to buy large numbers of flowers and stuff like that, trying to make arrangements that sound like he's somehow planning a wedding. So yeah, based on what I've heard, it seems as though they're getting married. That's what it looks like to me. Anyways, let's move on. Next, David says, I didn't realize that. I didn't know that this happened in Taiwan commonly. I didn't know that. Then he says, thank you. Thanks for letting me know. Then he says, by the way, what type of fish are you looking for besides mackerel? Helen answers him by saying, I'm mostly browsing to see what they have. So she's looking around. She hasn't made up her mind. She's open to pretty much any suggestion.
Right. And of course, to browse means to look at things in a shop without being sure if you want to buy anything. And I could also say one of my favorite activities is browsing in bookstores. So here, Helen is mostly browsing at the fish market to see what's fresh, what's available before deciding what to buy. And that is a good strategy because when you buy fish, you want to make sure that the fish is in season, that it's fresh. So you don't want to buy something just to buy that thing because it may not be fresh, it may not be in season, and it may be very expensive.
There you go. Moving on, yes, she's browsing, but then she says, without question, my favorite fish is tuna. Unfortunately, I shouldn't buy any, even if they have it here. By the way, I am with Helen. I love tuna, but I'll never buy tuna. I don't eat tuna anymore because it's overfished, and we'll kind of talk about that later. But for right now, let's talk about what the word unfortunately means.
Right. Unfortunately is used for saying that something is sad or disappointing, something that you are disappointed about. So I could say, unfortunately, I can't come to the movies with you this evening because I have to study for an exam. So I'm really sad about the fact that I can't come. And that's why I would say, unfortunately, I cannot come.
Anyways, David, he's filled with questions right now. Why not, Helen? Why won't you buy tuna? What's wrong with tuna? And Helen says, a lot of people don't realize how overfished it is. Yes, people fish for tuna way too much, and this has led to some problems for tuna. Get this, some species, because of overfishing, some species are endangered, i.e., they're at risk for extinction, okay, and that's not a good thing.
Right. When something is endangered, an endangered animal or plant is one that may soon disappear from the world, and usually the cause, well, a lot of the times the cause is human activity through hunting or fishing or destroying of the animal's habitat.
There you go. So some species of tuna are endangered, so Helen doesn't want to eat tuna, okay? She thinks if she eats tuna, she'll be supporting an industry that is killing tuna and overfishing tuna as we know it. Anyways, moving on, she says, I don't want to add to the problem, so I never buy it anymore. And David says, wow, I had no idea. It's so common on restaurant menus. Yes, tuna is everywhere these days. Due to 1, tuna being delicious and everyone wanting to eat it, and then 2, overfishing to service that demand for tuna. Anyways, moving on, Helen says, if you're concerned about which fish you should avoid, I recommend looking at the International Union for Conservation of Nature's Red List. And David says, I definitely will, but I hope he's taking notes right now. Remember, it's the International Union for Conservation of Nature's Red List. That's what you have to look up there, Dave.
Right, and this list evidently has all of the fish that are endangered that should not be fished or eaten. They should be avoided if we don't want these fish to disappear. And Helen says, as for tuna, it might be for the best. Why is that? It has high concentrations of heavy metals like mercury compared to a lot of other seafood. So besides the fact that it's being overfished, tuna also has a lot of metals like mercury inside, which is bad for our health if we eat it.
There you go. And David says, really? Helen continues. She says, yeah, some types have a higher amount in a single serving than you should eat in a whole week. Wow, that's a lot of heavy metal.
That certainly is a lot of heavy metal. So I think from now on, I'm going to be avoiding tuna also, even though I really love it, especially when it's in sushi.
Anyways, David says, it looks like I have some research to do. And yes, he does know his seafood, but he still has a lot to learn. At least he knows that, and he's comfortable with that fact. All right, everyone, with that, today's lesson is now in the books, and it's time for you guys to hear from the Chinese teacher.
各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny。 我们来看今天的文法重点。先看到课文标题 In the mood for seafood。 Mood 它是指心情、情绪。当我们说 in the mood for something 就表示有心情做什么，想要什么什么。我们也可以用 in the mood to 加上动词来表达想要做某事。例如 I'm in the mood for Japanese food tonight。 我今天晚上想要吃日本料理。 I'm not in the mood to talk right now。 我现在不想讲话。好，对话里面的两位主角他们在逛鱼市。 Helen 很期待晚上可以煮现捞的鱼，那么 David 就问他说要怎么料理呢？ Helen 说 It depends on what I pick up, but I could go for some mackerel。 要看我买什么鱼，不过我想买一些青鱼。好，那这边要介绍两个片语。第一个是 pick up。 Pick up 有很多意思，它可以指拿起来、捡起来，可以指接送某个人，它可以指收拾、打扫等等。不过在课文里面，它是用来表达购买，常常用来指购买一些日常用品。例如 I'm going to pick up some meat for dinner tonight。 我要去买一些今天晚餐要用的肉。那另外 pick up 还可以表达学会、了解，通常呢是指非刻意，不是经过正统方式学习，而是慢慢的从环境中或是从某个机会当中学会的。像是 She picked up a few Japanese phrases on her trip to Tokyo。 她去东京的旅行期间学会了一些日文用语。好，第二个要介绍的片语是 go for， 它也有很多意思哦。第一种可以表达接受、同意，像是接受某个建议呀、计划等等。例如 We asked the salesman if he could give us a discount, but he wouldn't go for it。 我们问那个销售员能不能给个折扣，可是他不接受。好，第二个呢，意思可以表达选择，像是 I think I'll go for the cheesecake。 我想我要选 cheese 蛋糕。好，那么第三个呢，是表达喜欢或者是被某人或某事物吸引。例如 I don't really go for that kind of music。 我不太喜欢那一种音乐。好，那么第四个意思可以表达努力争取，我们就常常会用 Go for it 来表达放手一试，大胆一试，叫人去努力争取。像是 Stop hesitating, just go for it 别再犹豫了，你努力去争取就对了，不要想那么多啦。好，那么以上是这些重点整理，我们来回顾单字吧。
Concern. If anyone has any concerns, please bring them up at our next meeting. Apparently. According to reports, the fire apparently started in an apartment on the 3rd floor. Browse.
Many of the customers in the store were browsing rather than looking for anything specific.
Unfortunately. Unfortunately, the cost of renting an apartment in the city has continued to rise. Endangered. The area was turned into a nature reserve to protect the endangered animals that live there. Concentration. The concentration of lead in the water makes it unsafe for humans to drink.
Okay, everyone. With that, today's article is now complete. But, as always, we sure hope that you guys have enjoyed reading along with us. Anyways, I'm Jeff.
I'm Helen.
See you next time.